I am back. All right. After you reorganize your space and you get it to where you want it to be, so that you can feel like you're totally able to function and create, the next thing you need to do is get into a habit, a time habit. Whether it is 5:00 a.m. or 7 p.m. or anywhere between your lunch hour. That's for writers, but everyone has to get into their own groove to be able to create or relax in what manner they would like. You may learn that you only want to read books, you don't want to write them, but you're interested in the mechanics of what goes into the books that you read. I'm going to take The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes and do the first 10 pages of it. It's now in public domain. It was written 70 years ago. The writing styles between then and now are a lot different because the big 5 publishing houses have deemed it so. So if you're looking for an indie writer, an indie author, an independent author, who does not go through one of the big houses, you are liable to find someone who writes like Arthur Conan Doyle. I don't find anything wrong with his way. Some of the sentences are harder to read. They haven't been dumbed down. But he was a very intelligent man. I mean, the things that he was doing in Sherlock Holmes before 70 years ago is like the precursor to our forensics of the day. Anyway, I digress, but I could really just go on and on about that. We will be going over some of the different writing programs, aids that are available on the web, my own color coding edits, and we'll use the first 10 pages of Sherlock Holmes to show you my color coding. Why that? Well, because you can go through it and you can highlight your 10 pages of of Arthur Conan Doyle's book, and see if you read it the same way I do. Because that's what it boils down to, is how do you read your own work? And are you reading your own work the way someone else would be reading it? A lot of times we don't, and that's why we miss the mistakes, whether it be spelling or punctuation or even plot holes, because we already know what's going on. And our readers have no clue. And so that plot hole really glares at them. So I'll be going over that in the next few weeks. You might not agree with the way I do things, and that's okay. You can always share the way you would do it in the comment section below. That would be appreciated. Gives another layer on how to do edits, and there's no one way. I know, right, wrong, but not really. There's really no one way. You have as many different ways as you have editors out there. Now, hiring an editor versus not hiring one. I always believe that as an independent author, you need to have your work as polished as possible. And while you may not want to pay a proofreader or a beta reader or an editor, if you want to get your mom, your sister, your cousin to read it for you and make suggestions and then leave it at that, and then you don't sell any and you're getting bad reviews, maybe you need to reconsider it. I have found that family members and friends, they don't want to hurt your feelings, so they're not going to tell you that your work really needs improvement, or wow, it reads like a second grade book. So you need to possibly take that under advisement and then do with it what you will. I have, before my grandson arrived, I wrote 4 hours in the morning, and then I did whatever I needed to do, errands, whatever. I would walk a couple of miles, and then I'd come back and I would edit, but I would not edit what I worked on that morning. I would edit what I had written maybe 2 months prior. So I've got multiple layers of things going on. Work in progress, WIP, work in progress. Let's see, I guess that's about it. You just need, whoa, bless you. You just need to be able to decide when you want to work, how many hours or minutes you want to be able to work on it. Since I retired, the 4 hours is more like a full-time job at this point in time, because, I write for 4. And then I come back and I do more edits. So I have a lot of time during the day that I spend with my creative stuff. Projects, my creative projects. So I don't know what works for you, but mine is getting up in the morning with my coffee, letting the dogs out, taking them for a short walk, coming back in, and logging on. Why do I log on? I usually use Google Docs. So I will download it into my Google Drive, and then I'll turn off the internet so that I won't be distracted by messages coming in or emails going ding, 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 all that kind of stuff. So find out what works for you. But get into a pattern and keep it. Now you can start this like you would, your New Year's resolutions. But let me tell you, New Year's resolutions do not allow you to grow. They do not allow you to adapt. They make you feel like you have to do everything rigidly, and then you feel like you have failed. So what you want to do with your creative endeavors is to start your pattern. If it doesn't work, adapt it. Don't quit it. Adapt it. So if 4 hours isn't working for you to write in the morning, maybe you should scale it back to writing for an hour. Maybe walking 2 miles isn't for you during the day. Maybe you can only walk, up and down your flight of stairs, for 15 minutes. Do something that fits into yours, and then adapt it. Increase, decrease, shift it around. And when you find that sweet spot, you're going to feel accomplished. So you stay in that sweet spot until you need to adapt again. There's nothing wrong with it. In this way, your psyche doesn't say, oh, I failed. Well, no, you didn't. You did not fail. You adapted. You changed. You're still remaining creative and true to yourself. So with that, thank you very much for visiting us today, and we'll see you soon in the next video.